Hey there, Knolly Williams here, the business healer. Now, this is one of my favorite topics of all time. By the way, I'm hanging out in Puerto Rico. We're at our home in Puerto Rico, Josie and I. My wife is actually recovering from a bad injury. She broke her leg in 3 different places, so continue to pray for her. And she's recuperating while I'm shooting video. Well, right now, this is what I want to share with you on this video, and that is the 3-hour workday. It's one of my favorite topics of all time. In fact, if I had not adopted the 3-hour workday a long time ago, I wouldn't be able to be a caregiver to my wife right now in her hour of need. That's right, I work 3 hours a day. I have multiple businesses that each earn 6 figures plus. How do I do it? Well, in this video, the short video, I'm going to share with you, actually I was able to share at a growth mastermind exactly how I do it. And it's a big concept, but it's easy for you to adopt. Now, if you love the video, give it a like, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. I want to hear your questions, comments, ahas as well. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. All right, let's check out the video.
And I think the challenging part for us realtors is, we do have to wear certain hats at times, right? And so I guess this is maybe where virtual assistants come into play, or,
So I have a system that I teach called the 3-hour workday, which is which is what I live. I work 3 hours a day. I have 3 companies that all make multiple 6 figures, but I work 3 hours a day. And so that's a little bit extreme. Okay. That's on the extreme end of it. But I always say, imagine how you are the day before you go on vacation. Okay. You know how much stuff you actually get done? And because the way I look at it, Beth, is most real estate agents and entrepreneurs in general, they're like, if you can picture one of those old mazes or like a labyrinth, okay, they're in the weeds, they're in the business, they're putting out fires, they're working on all this stuff. And they don't know as they're going through the maze, they don't know if they should go left or right. So with my system, what I do is I teach you to what I call rise above the maze. So just imagine yourself 30 to 40 feet above the maze. Now you can see every twist and turn and exactly where your business should go, right? Because you're above the maze. And any idiot, right, could that's above the maze could be like, hey, go left, right? Because they can see clearly. Yeah. And so what I discovered in the real estate game, okay, I know you guys can't see this. I'll share this with Beth later, but I discovered that there's 46 steps to taking a listing. First step is generate the lead, and the last 5 steps deal with closing the transaction. Okay, so with those 46 steps, there's only about 5 or 6 of those that require a license. Okay, let me say it again. Only 5 or 6 steps require a license. All right. So what most real estate agents are doing is they're not focused on the most dollar productive activities, period. What does that mean? That means if it's not making me $1,000 an hour, I'm not doing it. Okay. I'm not uploading documents to SkySlope. I'm not filling out listing paperwork. I'm not doing any of the stuff that's not making me $1,000 an hour. If I can pay somebody $12, $15, or $18 or $20 an hour, it's off my plate, period. So 91.3% of all duties on a typical listing are delegatable. You can delegate them. That's the reason why when in my last year of production, my sponsor makes fun of me because I say I don't produce anymore, which is somewhat true. I mean, I still cap every year, so figure that out. But my last year in production, I did 153 deals. Okay, mostly listings. Probably 140 of those were listings, and I personally worked about 3 to 4 hours a week, personally. Okay, of course, I was 7th level. For those of you that studied, millionaire real estate agent, and 7th level, what that is. So I had been 7th level for years. And I just love teaching and training and coaching. That's what I love to do. So I finally stopped denying myself of being able to do that full time. And that's what I do now. But so what I do is I color code it. And so there are some things that require a license. But if I take a listing, like I just took a $900,000 listing, I've never met with the seller, nor will I ever meet them face to face. I do all my paperwork through, I do just like we're doing right now. This is how we do the listing appointment through Zoom.
Oh, okay.
And then I do, Yeah, I do the paper. I do a video. I use Loom, Loom, and I create a short video that walks them through the listing documents, and then I have my assistant send everything out through DocuSign for signatures. When we get the documents back, so I never really physically show up at a property until it's already listed. When we get to the property, I don't get to the property. I've got someone on my team goes out, and they will set up the listing, which means they'll put up the sign, lockbox, go through, make a checklist of what needs to be done, all that, give that to the owner. Once everything's done in the checklist, we have a photographer go out, take the photos. Then my VA uploads everything to MLS, and then it goes on the market. And then once we have an offer, typically I'll have somebody on my team negotiate the offer. I say team, but like just one of my EXP downline. Can we say that word here? One of my agents will, and I have a fee structure. So what I do is I have this is kind of getting into the game a little bit, but, and this is the weeds. We're talking about a little bit the behind the scenes. This is not the sexy stuff, Cody, but, so I have a chart of what I pay for people to do things. So I say, answer agent inquiries. I'm going to pay you $75 to answer any inquiries that come in for that listing. So I'll assign it to an agent. Say, hey, for any questions you have about this listing, call Lee, and he'll take those calls. And for that, I pay about $25 an hour. Okay, so if Lee, I don't think it's going to take more than 2 or 3 hours of phone calls that people have inquiries and stuff like that. So in other words, you scrape as much off your plate as you can. Okay. Mm-hmm. But that's on the other side of it. Mm-hmm. Let me say one more thing, and then I'm going to bounce the ball back to you, Beth, because I can get on these tirades. This is very important for you guys to understand this. Okay. Very important. I'm treating this like this is the only time I'm ever going to have a chance to talk to you guys. Okay. So like if I'm talking to my own children, what would I tell them? In this business, you will only ever have 2 problems. Ever. Okay. Ever. You're never going to have more than 2 problems. Number one, and most of you guys already know what the problems are. Number one, you don't have enough income. You don't have enough business, right? That's a lead generation problem. That's the first problem you have to tackle. By the way, I got to tell you guys, that's a very easy problem to solve. Once you solve the lead generation problem and you understand it, you'll never have that problem again. Like you'll never not be able to turn on. It's just like turn on a faucet, right? And Beth, you know what I'm talking about. So the number one one problem you'll have is lead generation. The second problem, anybody can guess what that problem is? The only other problem that you'll ever have in your career.
That not enough time or not enough people.
Time. Yep. So the first problem is money. You solve that by lead generation. The second problem is time. You solve that by leverage. So you'll only ever have a lead generation or a leverage problem ever. Okay. Now the leverage problem will be with you for the rest of your career. The lead generation problem should be solvable within 90 days, and you should never have a lead generation problem. By the way, once you solve the lead generation problem, you go from feast or famine, okay, to pipeline. You go from feast or famine to pipeline. Once you have a pipeline, now you got to have help. You can't do 100 deals a year without going nuts. By the way, you'll work half as much doing 100 deals a year than if you did 40 deals a year. I'll just throw that out there. That's something my coach shared with me when I first got in the business.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hey, I want to invite you out to Knolly Coaching Club. That's right. The Knolly Coaching Club is where I'm able to teach, train, and coach you every single week to your ultimate greatness. Now you can join for just $1. Go to knollycoaching.com and I'll see you on the inside.